A local man is receiving a national award for his act of heroism. Reaction to the Mueller report is mixed in Washington and here at home. And a local food drive is only a few days away. How you can help. This is 17 News at Noon. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maddie Janssen. A local man is receiving a national award for his heroism. We learned just a few hours ago that Bakersfield's own Blaine Hodge will be awarded the 2019 Citizens Medal of Honor. You may remember last fall, Hodge intervened at a Starbucks on Stockdale Highway as a woman was being attacked by a man with a machete. He very likely single-handedly saved her life. Hodge sustained several stab wounds in the process. CHP officers eventually arrested the attacker. Hodge and 3 other citizens will receive their individual awards tonight during a dinner hosted by the Congressional Medal of Honor Society at the Institute of Peace in Washington, D.C. The ceremony is happening this afternoon, and we'll have coverage coming up tonight on 17 News at 5 and 6. Education news now. A tentative agreement between the Bakersfield City School District and the Teachers Union. The new 3-year agreement includes a 2% pay raise retroactive to last July. Last month, we reported the negotiations were at a standstill and that Beta, the Bakersfield Elementary Teachers Association, wanted more. The school district says the new agreement also includes new benefits such as paid parental leave and additional personal days. Beta will vote to ratify the contract April 3rd, and then it must be approved by BCSD Board of Education. Meantime, the district and Beta will continue to negotiate on hours through mediation. Multiple districts from all over Kern County are coming together to fight bullying. The Safe Schools Workshop is put on by the Kern County Superintendent of Schools. District leaders came together to collaborate on building systems to battle bullying on campus. School site administrators, counselors, school resource officers, and mental health providers attended. Tomorrow, the focus will be on cyberbullying. Coming up later this week, we're teaming up once again with the Golden Empire Gleaners. This is a look at last year's drive where people donated more than 7,000 pounds of food and several $1,000s in cash. The Gleaners takes produce that would otherwise get thrown out for not meeting cosmetic standards of supermarkets and redistributes it to local families in need. But the Gleaners also rely on community donations, so that's why we're asking you to step in this Wednesday. Come on down to the corner of 22nd and M Streets, just outside our KGET studios here in downtown Bakersfield. We're asking for non-perishable food plus cash or check donations. Every little bit helps. It's happening from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Wednesday. We're back in your 17 Health Watch. Powerful testimony at the Food and Drug Administration today from women who say they've suffered serious health problems because of breast implants. Patients, as well as plastic surgeons and makers of breast implants, are participating in the FDA meeting today and Tuesday. At issue today, a possible link between textured implants and a rare form of lymphoma called breast implant-associated ALCL. It's a cancer of the immune system that grows in the scar tissue surrounding the implant. Removing the scar tissue and the implant generally cures the cancer. More than 400 women in the U.S. have been diagnosed and 17 worldwide have died.
We are ordinary women. We are educated. We are mothers, sisters, wives, and daughters, and we are suffering. Some are ignored and laughed at. Some are suffering financial strain and marital stress. Some are having difficulty raising their children. Many are angry at and feel defeated by a system that has failed them.
Representatives from 3 of the implant makers also spoke at the FDA meeting this morning. They say safety is their highest priority, and there may be other factors that contribute to the cancer, including genetic predisposition. In other health news, an experimental male birth control pill has passed an important safety test. The test involved 30 men who took the daily pill for 28 days. The pill decreased sperm production and produced hormone responses consistent with effective contraception. The men experienced mild side effects, including fatigue, acne, headaches, or a mildly decreased sex drive, but they still continued to take the pill despite the side effects. Researchers say they plan to have longer studies and eventually test the pill in sexually active couples. When you walk into a hospital for care, how often do you know what you're going to pay? Since the beginning of the year, hospitals have been required to post prices online, but is it making a difference? Dr. Frank McGeorge reports.
I don't really think consumers are using the information. I think it's hard to follow, and in some cases it could actually be misleading.
Marianne Udow-Phillips is the director of the Center for Health and Research Transformation at the University of Michigan. They study the effect of policies like this. The initial idea behind the law to post hospital prices was well-intentioned.
The hope is that patients who increasingly have deductibles and copays and they have to pay part of the cost of medical care in the hospital, that they would become smarter shoppers, that they would know what charges they might face when they went to the hospital.
So let's say I need my gallbladder removed. Simple enough. I should be able to look up the hospital website, then find the page that lists the charges and look up gallbladder removal. But that's not even close to what you get.
The rule requires hospitals to make public standard charges via the internet in a machine-readable format. This basically means hospitals are making downloadable spreadsheets available that contain something known as charge master prices. Charge master prices are the inflated prices that hospitals use as a negotiating point with insurance companies, and they usually bear no resemblance to what anyone actually pays.
I don't think the charge masters are particularly helpful for either decision-making by patients or for really addressing the problems we have with healthcare costs.
It's also important to remember these prices don't include what your doctors will charge for their services. Another important issue that these numbers don't address at all is the quality of care. If your out-of-pocket cost ends up being the same because of your copay and deductible, why not go to a hospital that provides better care? Right now, that information is hard to get a hold of.
The silver lining is this the start of a conversation? Is this the start of a new approach to transparency of information that could become useful for consumers?
The bottom line is that the prices listed online aren't much use to the average consumer. The best thing to do is contact your insurance provider before any elective procedure to get a closer estimate of your cost. Welcome back in your 17 Business Watch and checking stocks live. Right now, the Dow down just about 2 points so far in trading. The Nasdaq down 17 at last check, and the S&P 500 down 5. Oil prices also falling today. West Texas Intermediate was at $58.90 a barrel at last check, and Midway Sunset started the day at $65.98 a barrel. Pain at the pump continues across the country. Over the past 2 weeks, the average price of regular gas has jumped to $2.66 per gallon. This time last week, the nationwide average was $2.58 a gallon. Motorists in the Midwest are seeing the biggest price hikes, followed by the South, Southeast, and Mid-Atlantic states. The West Coast is escaping the biggest price increases for now. Industry analysts say it's due in part to the refinery maintenance and switch over to the summer blend gasoline. According to AAA, though, right here in Bakersfield, the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is $3.44. A popular superfood's being recalled in several states, including California. Southern California-based Henry Avocado says its whole avocados could be contaminated with listeria. So far, no illnesses associated with the recall, but the company says it took action out of an abundance of caution based on a positive test result taken during a routine government inspection. The recall impacts Henry avocados sold in bulk at stores in 6 states, including California.